I'd like to speak to the owner of this pub.
In today's lesson, we'll learn with a scene from a new movie based on the British TV series Peaky Blinders. Hello, I'm Xenia, your real-life English fluency coach. The movie comes back to the Shelby family 6 years after the series ends, during the World War II attacks on Birmingham, England. Tommy has retreated from public life to a secluded countryside mansion, haunted by his past and the loss of his family. He's pulled out of exile to confront a new, high-stakes threat. In the scene we'll watch, we see Tommy return to Birmingham. This lesson is perfect for any fans of crime and mafia stories, and you're going to learn tons of valuable advanced vocabulary. Now, before we get started, to help you not only learn the expressions we'll cover in today's scenes, but also never forget them, we want to give you access to all the smart flashcards from this lesson for free. You can practice with them in our app by clicking the link below. Thousands of learners just like you are becoming more fluent every day and having fun while doing it. If that sounds like something you'd like, be sure to try out our method. You only need a few minutes a day to see real progress. So Thomas asks to speak to the owner of the bar, and a patron becomes furious that he stopped the music. Let's see how Tommy deals with the situation.
Well, it may have escaped your notice, you war-shy fucker, but we were dancing to that music.
When I get an answer to my question, you can dance again.
Who the fuck are you?
Just need to speak to him.
Right, sweetheart. Here's what's going to happen, all right? You're going to turn around, you're going to put that fucking music back on, OK? You're going to pick a slow number, all right? Then you and me, we're going to waltz around this dance floor like Fred Astaire and Ginger fucking Rogers.
Wow, things are already super tense. But that seems to be pretty normal when Tommy Shelby shows up. Just his first 6 words leave the whole room flabbergasted.
I'd like to speak to the owner of this pub.
A pub is short for public house, which is a British bar or drinking establishment where people come together to socialize, have drinks, and often listen to live music. In Britain, the pub is a cultural institution, like a community living room. Think of it the way a plaza is to a Spanish town or a cafe is to Paris. The garrison where Tommy has just walked in is the Shelby family's home turf, and that makes this entrance all the more tense. The owner he's looking for is actually his son, Duke, who has taken control of the family business as one of the only surviving Shelbys. Remember John? Dead. Remember Arthur?
Dead.
Polly?
Polly's dead.
But now, Tommy's back to fix his son's mistakes. Let's unpack the next line, because it is packed.
Well, it may have escaped your notice, you war-shy fucker, but we were dancing to that music.
First, what do you think escaped your notice means here? You noticed something but quickly forgot it? You deliberately ignored something? Or you failed to pay attention to something? Exactly. When something escapes your notice, you simply didn't see it or register it. The patron is being sarcastic. He's saying that Tommy clearly didn't care that people were in the middle of dancing. A similar phrase you might hear is escape one's attention. Check out these 2 examples.
Just let someone else go.
In case it had escaped your notice, Blacksmith, I am quite capable of looking after myself.
Shouldn't you be seeing your uncle?
Well, it may have escaped your attention, Sykes, but I'm currently somewhat being forcibly detained.
And then the insult he throws in, a war-shy, is a compound adjective built with the suffix shy. This means avoiding or afraid of something. So war-shy describes someone who avoids combat, essentially a coward. The patron perceives that Tommy is a traumatized veteran of World War I, so he throws this insult at him. By the way, this suffix is incredibly flexible. Camera shy, uncomfortable being photographed. Work shy, someone who dodges hard work. Commitment shy, someone who avoids serious relationships. And if you're like most learners, you might feel speaking shy when it comes to your English. I've been there myself as an English learner, so I remember how it feels. We've also taught millions of English learners just like you. And what we found is that a super important part of speaking English confidently is having the right words exactly when you need them. But if you don't study the words from today's lesson, trust me, you'll forget them in hours or even minutes. So we created the perfect solution for you. A set of flashcards for this lesson with Peaky Blinders that is available for free on our app. These will help you remember the new words from this lesson forever. And the reason this works is that we put the science and the right technology behind it. Basically, the app knows the exact expressions you've learned from all our lessons, and just when you're about to forget one, we bring it back to you to practice. You only need 10-15 minutes daily for more natural English speaking. Super easy. Just click the link in the description below to try the real life app right now for free and start getting a bit more fluent every day. Now, see if you can notice the grammar mistake in Tommy's next line.
When I get an answer to my question, you can dance again.
Catch that? In standard English, my is correct here. However, this is a grammatical feature of the Birmingham dialect. You'll hear this throughout the series and film, and we'll talk more about it later, so you can understand and even speak like Tommy. And this patron is pretty rude and condescending. Listen to this next insult he throws at Tommy.
Right, sweetheart. Here's what's going to happen, all right?
Normally, sweetheart is a warm term of endearment, something you'd say to a child, a partner, or a close friend. But here, it's used sarcastically to try to emasculate Tommy. Obviously, it doesn't work. You'll also hear sweetheart used genuinely in everyday English. A grandmother calling her grandchild sweetheart, or a couple using it as a nickname. Check out these examples.
Sweetheart, will you pass the salt?
It's in the middle of the table.
Sweetheart, Mommy and Daddy will be back in 2 minutes.
You're going to pick a slow number, all right? Then you and me, we're going to waltz around this dance floor like Fred Astaire and Ginger fucking Rogers.
In this context, what do you think number means? A digit or mathematical figure? A song or piece of music? A type of dance step? Right, in music and performance, a number is a song or musical piece. It's common in the world of theater, jazz, and live performance. Let's do one more number before we wrap up, or that opening number brought the house down. Listen to this other example.
I don't care how popular she is. We are not doing a Beyonce song for the opening number.
And then, did you recognize these two names?
We're going to waltz around this dance floor like Fred Astaire and Ginger fucking Rogers.
So Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers were one of the most iconic dance duos in Hollywood history. In the 1930s and 40s, they starred together in a series of classic musical films. Top Hat, Swing Time, Shall We Dance? Again, pretty intimidating, but none of it phases Tommy. Now let's continue with the scene and see how this fight plays out.
Holy fuck. Everybody stay calm. Anyone thinking of pulling a weapon, do not pull a weapon. Because this man, ladies and gentlemen, is Tommy Shelby.
Who the fuck is Tommy Shelby?
Perhaps someone should explain to him who I am.
I don't give a fuck who you are.
Hey.
You and me, we're gonna dance. Now, put that fucking music back on.
Well, there is a dance called a quick step.
Obviously, you've heard of it.
Ooh. I wouldn't want to get on Tommy's bad side. Absolutely calm, but terrifying. We'll see the dramatic end to the scene at the end of the lesson, so stick around. Let's look at an interesting collocation the bartender used.
Everybody stay calm. Anyone thinking of pulling a weapon, do not pull a weapon.
So, what do you think pull a weapon means? To take out a weapon? To clean or polish a weapon? To build or manufacture a weapon? Exactly. To pull a weapon means to draw it, usually a gun or a knife, in a threatening situation. The word pull conveys that quick, deliberate motion of reaching for something. You'll hear similar phrasing in westerns and crime dramas all the time. Don't pull that gun. He pulled a knife. Tommy barely talks, but every word is precisely chosen.
Because this man, ladies and gentlemen, is Tommy Shelby.
Perhaps someone should explain to him who I am.
Perhaps is a more formal, measured way of saying maybe. In most everyday conversations, people just say maybe, but perhaps carries a quieter, more controlled energy. Tom is not shouting, he's not demanding, he's suggesting. And that restraint is what makes it so powerful. Perhaps it's great to use in formal writing, polished speech, and if you want to sound considered and calm. Perhaps we should revisit this plan. Or perhaps there has been a misunderstanding. Here's another example.
Perhaps my self-worth is made up of how other people see me.
Now, let's zoom out. Almost every character in Peaky Blinders speaks Brummie, from Birmingham's nickname, Brum. It's one of the most distinctive accents in all of England, and once you know what to listen for, you'll start catching it everywhere in Peaky Blinders. Here are the key features. Me instead of my. This is one of the most recognizable quirks of Brummie and other British dialects, like we heard earlier.
When I get an answer to my question, you can dance again.
And me dad? Well, my dad, he's lost his fucking mind.
I'm looking for my son.
Flat, falling intonation. Unlike some British accents that rise at the end of sentences, Brummie tends to stay level or deep slightly, giving it that cool, heavy quality you hear from Tommy. It sounds serious, even when it isn't. Like how the patron said.
Who the fuck is Tommy Shelby?
As it is a question, I would say it with a rising intonation. Compare me saying it to how the patron says it. Who the fuck is Tommy Shelby?
Who the fuck is Tommy Shelby?
Tommy Shelby.
Tommy Shelby.
Dropped H's and G's. Him becomes im, something becomes something. You'll hear this a lot in fast speech. Notice how this happens with thinking and pulling in this line.
Anyone thinking of pulling a weapon, do not pull a weapon.
Or how Tommy said him here.
Just need to speak to him.
Distinctive vowel sounds. The U sound in words like up or cup is flatter and less clear than standard British English. It's a kind of lazy or relaxed vowel. In fact, you heard it in the first line of the scene in how Tommy said pub.
I'd like to speak to the owner of this pub.
One fascinating thing, the Brummie accent has historically been ranked as one of the least prestigious accents in the UK. So the choice to give the Shelby family, this feared, powerful crime dynasty, a Brummie accent was intentional and brilliant. It gives them working-class authenticity, an edge of danger, and a feeling that they came from nothing and fought for everything.
You and me, we're gonna dance. Now, put that fucking music back on.
The phrasal verb put on in the context of music means to start playing something. It's very common in everyday English, like in these examples.
Do you want to put on a song?
You stay right there. I'm gonna go put on some music.
Oh. I'm just gonna put this away, okay? So there's room to dance. Put some music on.
By the way, can I ask you for a quick favor? We depend on your feedback to make lessons you will enjoy and that will help you speak English confidently and fluently. So just take a moment to pause this lesson and comment one series, a movie, or celebrity you would love for us to make a lesson with. The real life team and I read every single comment. Thanks for doing that. Now at this point, Tommy's pretty fed up with this rude patron, and his final line is so badass.
Well, there is a dance called the quick step. Perhaps you've heard of it.
The quick step is a lively, fast-paced ballroom dance that originated in the 1920s, the exact era Peaky Blinders is set in. After your test, you'll see how the scene ends, and it will make perfect sense why Tommy referenced this dance. Let's quickly practice some connected speech, how natives cut, reduce, and link words together in fluent speech. Listen again to Tommy's final words.
Perhaps you've heard of it. Perhaps you've heard of it.
These three words link completely. Of and it becomes of it, and they connect to heard. Heard of it. Heard of it. This is just how any Brit or American would say, so it's worth your practicing. Listen to Tommy again and repeat.
Perhaps you've heard of it. Perhaps you've heard of it.
Alright, and now comes the most important part of the lesson, your test. You'll watch the entire scene this time without subtitles, and you will see how much better you understand with everything we've learned. To challenge you a bit more, I'll ask you some quiz questions. Let's go.
I'd like to speak to the owner of this pub.
In the USA, a pub is usually called a bar.
Well, it may have escaped your notice, you war-shy fucker, but we were dancing to that music.
Who do we call someone who's uncomfortable having pictures taken of them? Camera shy.
When I get an answer to my question, I can dance again.
Filling the blank. Tommy says me question instead of my question because he speaks with a accent, also known as Brummie. Birmingham.
Who the fuck are you? Just need to speak to him.
Right, sweetheart. Here's what's going to happen, all right? You're going to turn around, you're going to put that fucking music back on, OK? You're going to pick a slow number, all right? Then you and me, we're going to waltz around this dance floor like Fred Astaire and Ginger fucking Rogers.
Holy fuck. Everybody stay calm. Anyone thinking of pulling a weapon, do not pull a weapon. Because this man, ladies and gentlemen, is Tommy Shelby.
Who the fuck is Tommy Shelby?
Perhaps someone should explain to him who I am.
Perhaps means exactly the same thing as maybe and can always replace it in any situation. True or false? False. While they're close in meaning, perhaps is more formal and carries a more measured, controlled tone. Tommy uses it deliberately. In casual conversation, maybe sounds more natural.
I don't give a fuck who you are.
Hey.
You and me, we're gonna dance. Now, put that fucking music back on.
Well, there is a dance called the quick step. Perhaps you've heard of it.
Yeah, great work today. I hope you found this lesson valuable to better understand the Brummie accent and enjoy the Peaky Blinders movie if you haven't seen it yet. Make sure you don't forget all these new expressions we covered by studying with them on the Real Life app. Remember, you can get the flashcards for this lesson for free with the link below. And if you want to be able to understand fast-speaking natives without getting lost, without missing the jokes, and without subtitles, we help you to do it with 2 new lessons every week with your favorite movies, series, celebrities, and more. Hit that subscribe button and the bell down below so you never miss a new lesson. If you're sticking with us here on YouTube, I recommend you watch this lesson next.
Look, what about reprisals? I mean, if Brandon informs on this Heisenberg, I mean, what if, God forbid, that they decide to take revenge?
What have you been telling him? The kid keeps spouting off about if I talk, they'll kill me, blah, blah, blah. You know, right now, he's the only thing holding up this deal.
Good.
No, that's not good. That's terrible.